losing your damage against the Timber is what really kind of freaks with you. Because, like, sure, you have the damage absorption and you're not going to die to the Timber, but if you're losing 11%, how much is it? 13% of your stats, then Slatams is going to be less hitting for 46, right? As December? Like, this is so bad. And you're going to be laning against a 62 base damage Timber. It's just not ideal at all.
And it's also because it's a mid timber. They tend, I don't know if he will, but they tend to not go for reactive armor at all. And then you have a timber chain whirling death max level at level 6. There is no lane that's safe. You can one shot anyone.
Yeah, I truly agree with you. I feel like you sometimes you see one point. I don't feel like Ember is the type of hero that kind of forces you into that at all. Yeah, this Timber mid is even worse than what I was expecting. So it's really going to be on Boom to get good rotations. I feel like this is a game Slatams needs to pop off. And I've seen some really good games from his Ember Spirits. But even their supports, like AA is just terrible at rotating. And Rubik is, decent at best. You're gonna need this gyro to be active. You're gonna need everyone on Boom to pull their weight, because I really don't think their draft is bad. Like, too much better in the late game and in the early game.
I'm curious to see what kind of build it's going to be on Dark Mago, though. Quick Blink Dagger, I think, is probably the first thing that comes to mind when I see Timbersaws in this patch. And then it is roam and take anyone down. Oh no, the harass. Rubik does so much.
Yeah, I felt like he was getting too close. Maybe you get chains, you lift him into the tower, you get a hoof stomp, but they didn't really. He wasn't close enough, I feel, like, for all of that to connect. And starting with chains can always be pretty bad for Ember, so you have to be 100% sure you're gonna get the kill, and even then, it can be problematic for you.
Well, let's see, do we get any nice steals coming in? The roots are there. Illich with the stomp. Gets the bounty room, but he takes so much damage from Dark Mago. Who's going to get first blood? That's going to be a very, very fast bottle pickup as well. And it should even be 3 bounties coming in for the side of a Starbucks against the singular one from Boom. So there are... they're not starting off this game that greatly.
Ember versus Ember, with Timber having minute 0 bottle. That has to be nightmare fuel right there for Zlatams.
Yeah, the Whirling Death spam is going to be annoying. He, in response, does have the Flame Guard that can't be removed, which is a big plus for the Ember. So that he can constantly keep the harass up onto Dark Mago without, well, losing his shield prematurely.
Yeah. Premature. Well, I actually don't want to make a joke about that, but even though you can get the harass going, the CS is really the problem, right? Flame Guard, unless it's level 2, it's pretty, slow DPS.
Oh, let's see. Top side. I'm wondering if we're going to get to see any Underlord in this patch. I think the buffs on Underlord were actually really good. So I'm just hoping for it at one point to come back.
I think the problem is that, buffing Ags is a bit weird, because I don't feel like that's the first or the second item you want to build on him. If it was like a shard buff, if it was something else, I could have seen it, honestly. You need to find a way so that this Ags is actually worth enough for you to, like, buy it as a first or second item, which I'm not sure we're there yet.
I more like the Atrophy aura change. The Ags was, of course, nice, but the Atrophy aura change was pretty big. And the bonus damage per creep increased by 1 per level. So instead of getting at level 1, getting 2 damage per creep, you get 3. So that's a 50% increase at level 1, which is pretty big.
Yeah, I think for mid Underlord is definitely good. Offlane might be a bit not that big, but if you're just laning mid with bottle, then it honestly becomes something really powerful.
Yeah, no, obviously the Agnum Scepter is now kind of weird. But I think there's definitely teams that can abuse it. Dark Mago is one of those players where I always think, hey, Underlord could be a mid. But nonetheless, it has a reason why it's not really being picked
Oh,
up that
Knight.
much.
Very low, but no mana on MNZ.
And top side, do they manage to get away? Yor will be able to walk towards some neutral creeps, which is a bit scary, but will disengage. And a bit of a harass between the two sides. Slatum is hella struggling mid. This is to be expected. Ember versus Timbersaw. He does have a point in reactive armor on Dark Mago, but Slatum is in a very big predicament here.
Yeah, I mean, this lane is absolutely awful. Like, I think this is what you expect, you know, having the same denies as the Ember has CS, because it is really, really hard.
And once he hits level 6, you're probably just dead. Chakra
I mean, you
plus
can
Whirling
die.
Death, you're dead. Yeah, right now,
die
if he
before
gets a good
6.
Timber Chain plus Whirling Death, you're probably also dead.
Yeah, and he does have it, 1 point, so gotta be very careful here. The other lanes are pretty decent, I think. You know, the Gyro kind of both carries slightly ahead or tied with the offlaners. I don't think the side lanes shouldn't really be too much of a problem for either side. Maybe we could see a kill.
Yor about to die. Wants to suicide, but Knight will be able to get the zap in with the Fade Bolt.
All right, that's a big one. I do feel like this Primal Grimstroke could definitely kill the AA, so it's really a question of them having their points. Primal is saving a skill point on Onslaught right now, but they have the Inkswell level 2. That's all you need. If you find a good opening, if you harass Panda, you can definitely kill him.
Yeah, you could probably even kill off because at that stage, Primal does do a lot of damage, especially once he hits that level 4. With a level 2 point in Trample, Onslaught, and also if he gets the Uproar stacks, which currently he does have maxed out, you have to be very careful fighting up against him. MNZ top lane going in on tonight, but taking a lot of damage in response from Illich. Magic Wand poppage. Illich actually is the one in trouble himself right now.
No.
Gets hit by another Bramble. Gotta sidestep those perfectly. Nice lift up from Knight to make sure his teammate does not get overwhelmed. But Knight is now pretty much out of resources.
Yeah, this is everyone just using so much mana and resources there. Bottom lane, they did get boots onto Sacred, so this could be that kill we're talking about, and indeed it is.
Yeah. Michel trying to run away. Actually, Pakaz turning his attention towards Sacred. The slow comes out, and they should both get away. In the meantime, underneath the tower in mid, Dark Mago just spamming spells onto Slatum. Doesn't really care about what this Ember throws at him because he's got 14 denies on the Timbersaw. That is a huge Timber.
Yeah, just as we expected, you know, not banned. You first phase, again, second phase this Ember Spirit, and you do pay the price for it, but they still feel like Slatum's could be a nuisance if he gets those levels, gets those items. Well, first point of contention is going to be this rune, which will be an illusion.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Quickly
attack.
picked up by Yor. Dark Mago coming to say hi to Slatum. Shotgun damage is hefty. Inkswell comes up on
Yes,
top,
he's-
and the Ember Spirit is dead. Nice rotations coming in, and yeah, it's just big Timbersaw gaming at this stage.
Yeah, he got his 6 when he was 10% HP, unfortunately. Could have probably lived. But, yeah, this is a big problem. Pakaz on the bottom side could be in trouble here, but should be okay. Well, this is level 5 Primal, so you gotta be very, very careful. Thankfully, they do have this Ice Vortex, which is a soft counter to the Primal Beast, but I think as long as you have the Inkswell, it should pretty much counter that move speed slow. Like, Inkswell gives 20% bonus, and Ice Vortex up to... It becomes 22% level 3. So you pretty much offset the Vortex as long as you have Inkswell on
Dire's
you.
middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scared.
There's a nice 2k net worth lead for a star backs, but because he's got 3 points in the flat cannon, so if they get him some stacks, he might be able to get huge quickly. I do like the fact that they're already countering one of the camps in the Radiant Triangle. to clean that one up. You're, though, looking for Pakaz. There is Michel walking in, but underneath the tower they spot out Panda, and Panda soaks up the gank attempt, which is a pretty big save at the very least for his gyro safe lane.
Dark Mago going for that blink you were talking about. 400 gold away from it. It's going to be huge timing. Maybe a minute 9, minute 10 blink dagger.
And what can the Ember do? Slatum is going to get an Arcane Rune. That's actually a pretty decent pickup. Dark Mago's almost done with the Blink Dagger. That is terrifying. It will be a looks to be, yeah, he gets huge stacks as well onto that Timbersaw. So that looks to be a pre-10-minute Blink Dagger on a Timbersaw who already has Arcane Boots, Magic Wand, Bottle, and a casual Windlace, which I think every single hero in this patch is currently picking up.
One of the best items in the game. Good way to see if a player is, you know, above 7k MMR, see if he just buys random Windlaces. That's really good telling. In terms of stacks here, we see Starbucks going for a stack on their triangle. Not that many stacks from Doom, despite the fact they have this gyro. So that might could be a problem. Top lane.
Top lane going in. MNZ just TP'd towards the tier 1 tower as well. Oh no, not TP'd. He just didn't have a TP. I thought he TP'd away. But he's going to get taken down though in response. They will find Illich looking for more. Boom should be able to disengage. Blink Dagger in 4 seconds. Panda. Oh, there's a tier 1 token lying on the floor, which Panda will pick after grabbing the nice and gorgeous bounty rune. So even though he dies, he does get 2 miniature objectives yoinked away. Okay, was it a radiant one or was it a dire one? Might have been a radiant one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a radiant one. Okay, so they might have actually almost lost their the one by accident there.
Very true. Battlefield though, on the way here for Minos, even though he died and he has not the greatest CS, he isn't that far away from Pakaz net worth-wise. And because he skipped his treads, he's already 2 components away.
Sacred bopping Pakaz, but knows he doesn't have enough damage, especially with the Great Healing Lotus. However, there is a Dark Mago heading that direction. And knowing that that's coming his way, immediately goes for the TP out.
Very good awareness there, as they will start cutting the wave. They had a catapult wave as well. This should be a tower for Starbucks. In the top side, though, they're not really applying the same pressure. So this is honestly a big advantage here for the Dire already.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, yours getting close to level 6. I think that's pretty big. Illich has the Stampede to quickly get out. Dark Mago is trying to chase him down. Pakaz is nearby, though. Doesn't have cooldown. Does give away that they have an Observer Ward in the area. Because they did get hit, but the Observer Ward is expiring right now. So Pakaz is like, oh, they have a ward here. But it just vanished, so that might
be lane
wasted towards mid. Panda in trouble, doesn't have his level 6 yet. He is so very close, but with the Phantom's Embrace, wouldn't even be able to get the cast off regardless. Dominating streak for Dark Mago. Timbersaw on a roll. Because going Chrysalis, probably Agnum Scepter afterwards. MNZ, as you mentioned, Battle Fury. What's Sacred going for? Blade Mill, very scary item to deal with for a Gyrocopter because you have that uncontrollable AoE damage. So Blade Mill is probably one of your biggest enemies.
They will find Pakaz here. They have that deep ward. They see the courier delivering. So they are very much aware of the positioning of the Gyro. But actually second guess themselves. They're going to go for Panda instead.
Panda still not level 6. Ice Blast still not there just yet. This Dark Mago is just making too many plays. And Slatum, he's playing Ember Spirit, does have 3 points of Flame Guard, so is decent at the very least, trying to catch back up in net worth. But Embers have some struggles with early game catching up of net worth until they get like Maelstrom. Their farming speed is pretty lackluster.
They heavily rely on the AA Blast being ready. Panda still not level 6, unfortunately. And the other big thing is the Centaur is not having a great game either. So his Blink Dagger is still 1,200 gold away. It means that the plays that they could possibly make to kill Dark Mago are going to come pretty late. And if he doesn't make any mistakes, once they're ready, like there's already going to be a Kaya Sanj, maybe an Eternal Shroud on the way as well. You might lack the damage even if you have the items. Oh, look
Jump
at
in onto Illich, has the Stampede. There is a chase in from Sacred as well. Yeah, he has the Stampede out of there knowing that he's otherwise
Might be dead.
Might still get jumped here. Actually, on the other side, it's Slatum who's going to get silenced up, stunned up. Will Slatum disengage, is terrorized up in the sky. Knight's looking for a possible great spell. Still won't find it just yet. Sacred even charging forward. And the slow onto Knight, the chop coming through, and Dark Mago with another kill, who is now on a killing mega kill streak. And looking for that tier 1 tower towards mid. Even MNZ making a move this early, joining his teammates, is pretty surprising for a PA.
Yeah, no boots PA somehow finding a way to contribute. I mean, Kaz is also doing his thing. He pretty much got the tier 1 tower top, although with heroes now missing his force out. Never mind, he's gonna go back and will be found. There is a Blade Mail on this Primo as well.
Yeah, but he's going on to the... Okay, Dark Mago is actually going to get killed off in mid, but in response, Pakaz dies topside. So a core for core. I do think that because, of course, Dark Mago was so stupidly fat, it's a big plus. But yeah, the one that got the gold for the Dark Mago kill was Knight.
Oh, Michael.
Not ideal. Ooh. They're starting to find their footing here on the side of Boom. A bit of a recovery coming out. Knight charging forward. That might have been a bit of a mistake, because the Primal Beast was also here. Ice Blast does click over him, so Sacred's gonna die next, and yours even gonna be chased further by Slatum. They're aggressively hunting. Will be able to get the control. You're looking to get taken down, and that is almost even Stevens right now in terms of the net worth advantage.
Damn, that was a big turnaround here for Boom. It starts with that one Timber pick, and then Starbucks didn't really expect that much explosion, that much aggression coming from Boom, but they found so many kills. That Ember still, pretty far behind, but his levels are now fixed. He was level 8, gets 2 levels out of that. Yes, Minos did get his Battle Fury. He didn't really get punished by all of that. Will also find himself a Wisdom Rune, but in general, that 4k goal lead just vanished in a minute.
Yeah, it's very quickly removed. Dark Mago, Pakaz is currently catching up towards him. Once he gets that Aghanim Scepter, is actually able to fight. MNZ is going to have to take a little bit longer of a time to be able to take any of these engagements. But is going to go for that Deso as his second one. They're looking to roam, maybe get a catch. MNZ does need to be a bit careful. And they're even countering the Ancient camp there, so that there's no free farming coming through from MNZ. But in response, a smoke rotation from the Dire Heroes. Sacred gets hit by the Ice Blast. Soulbind on towards 2, wants to get the Pulverize going. It's not even needed. They get a double kill. York gets that one easy peasy. Yeah, the power right there of Dark Willow's Bedlam shines bright.
I mean, this Sacred Primal Beast now finds another one, has the Pulverize.
That's a big one. So much damage onto Pakaz. He's trying to get something in response, but he will just drop dead. Nothing gained here for Boom. They immediately lose all that net worth they gained from the previous engagement in a couple of seconds.
This cloak on the Primal Beast has been so important. He would never have survived that fight without it. And I think Eternal Shroud on both Dark Mago and Sacred are going to be huge. But wait a second here, as mid lane, there's a fight being set up. They have the silence.
Oh, Inkswell stun comes out, and he is also hit by that Phantom's Embrace, so there's no disengaging coming through. The power of Grimstroke compels you, and indeed it is looking disastrous, this Wombo combo. Once he gets the shard as well. Oh, he has the shard, never mind on the Grimstroke. It is this
and
Timber
stack time
should not die.
And
Oh, Knight. chopped down quickly. Dark Mago, though, now he can't be healed. Needs to get himself out of there.
No.
Speaking of which, they know that Illich doesn't have a Stampede. So might want to go back in. Yor walks through, counter warding at the same time. Places a new Observer Ward up the high ground. Dodges the Stomp.
Oh, they're fighting for the stacks.
Yeah, MNC's coming in from the other side. This is a pretty hefty stack. There's also no Ice Blast available anymore. Pagaz, this could be disastrous. Pagaz is dead. Looking immediately for Illich. Dark Mago just wants blood. Nice jump from Slatum, going for the two supports on the backline. We'll find both of them, but Sacred will be able to lift him up. Ember Spirit smack down Dark Mago, chopping through onto Knight. Knight steals the Chakram with the response damage not being anywhere close to enough.
All right, so close this game. Even though the gold advantage is big. Oh my.
Okay, that was an interesting move. MNC was still in the area and gets himself a free kill onto Illich. I think if you're... I know that Chakram does a lot of damage, and I can see what they tried to do. Maybe they had enough for pure damage to burst down the Timber Saw, but that was a sacrificial play right there.
Yep, not only that, they lost Gyro's neutral item. Minos picks it up, and now he actually has Desolator, Orb of Corrosion, minute 18. This PA is absolutely gigantic. And I mean, we talked about this in the draft. Boom, they needed to explode in the laning stage, and that was not what happened. They got Pandas level 6, minute 13. December, even though he kinda recovered, he's still not doing great. And the center, like, we didn't really get to see much of Village just because, I don't know, they didn't have strong lanes. The center Rubik sometimes is strong against melees, but I feel like PA is one here that doesn't care. You can just get CS with the dagger. You don't need to approach the creeps as much as other heroes. They're just being pushed around.
Slatum quickly jumping out of there. Doesn't want to have any duels going on. Sacred going in for the BKB next. You did mention the Eternal Shroud. It is done. Timbersaw is going for Ags, and Dark Mago is almost finished with the Ags. They will not have the damage to go through that Aghanim Scepter.
They will not. They definitely not have it. This Timber also got himself a Pulpil's Gift. Look at his HP right now. 2,500. That's without finishing the Ags. He's going to be 3k HP with the barrier. Like, I don't know how you go through that.
Judge forward, Sacred looking for a catch. They'll quickly disengage on the side of Boom. Panda gets the TP away. Illich might not be so lucky. He's going to get chased. Stampede is on cooldown, and yeah, that Centaur is very dead.
4 Stampede, you get the center kill. Boom gets nothing, and they also cannot fight for the duration of that cooldown. They're gonna have to buy a lot of time. This Gyrocopter is gonna have to become huge, and even then, he's not a good matchup against the PA. This is not a hero that likes being matched against PA whatsoever.
It's a scary game when a Primal Beast is amongst the top 3 cores, because Primal Beast is just a very weak farmer. You don't normally... Like, Trample has such a long cooldown, a lot of Primals don't want to use it, because it just puts you out of the running for 21 seconds on Trample cooldown.
And that's also BKB Piercing Disable, which they don't really I guess so Rubik Shard is could be that save in the future. But they're very, very poor, and they did not get the Tormentor just yet.
You know what, the only thing that's really a big plus for the Rubik this game is that it's easy to steal the Pulverize.
Yeah.
Because you don't steal anything from PA. Grimstroke spells are okay, pretty good to steal. Dark Willows are...
They're fine.
They're pretty... They're actually really okay. But if you get by... Like, there are some that are better than others. Timbersaw Chakram is probably still... That one plus Pulverize are probably the best spells that you can get this game.
For sure. They're definitely the good ones. Soulbind, you know, there's an argument for that as well. But that's a hard one to steal, because He's gonna soul bind, silence almost every single time. So
Instantly afterwards, yeah. So it's just not an easy steal to make. It is a great steal if you can get it, the soul bind, because it makes sure that the primal slash Timbersaw slash PA aren't as mobile. Speaking of which, MNC very mobile towards top, looking for Panda. Chop, chop, chop. Blasted, completely taken down. And yeah, the AA kind of has a game that I expected, just not much he can do.
yeah, we talked about it during the draft. Just not a big fan. They tried to use this as a response to the primal, but the slow is just not enough. They still got kills with that combination just because the Inkswell offsets that slow. And you're just a creep later on. They have so much gap close. All 3 cores are mobile as hell on the Starbacks. And now they're gonna collapse here in the tier 2. They could get the Tormentor, they could get the tower. There's nothing really stopping the Starbacks from getting everything.
Yeah, free shard on Dark Willow is pretty good. Or 1-4. Yeah, Yor gets it. So you're going to have brambles upon brambles in these team fights. I even remember there was a time, a long time ago, when Taiga played the Dark Willow, that Dark Willows went for like shard into Octarine, just so that they could throw bramble mazes on the floor and then curse crown, and then you constantly had brambles and no one could move during the team fight. That just shows you how strong that shard is.
Yeah, it's really, really good. We do see a fight here. They're gonna find because.
Oh no, because that's not a hero that you can afford to lose in the slightest at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Boom. We talked about them being the theoretical favorites for this series, but I really feel like they shot themselves in the foot with this draft, just not allowing way too early of an Ember Spirit, knowing that heroes like Timber, heroes like Primal were available. They're cutting ways with style items. They're, trying to split push with the gyro, but they are being punished, and it feels like MNZ is gonna find another one if he just looks a bit further. And there we go.
That's another easy cleanup kill for MNZ. Going for the Deso next. You also have Dark Mago building Scythe of Vice. At one point, I think getting a shard might be advantageous because they only don't have any tower push. That's like the weakest thing that they have in the draft. So maybe getting the shard so he can use the flamethrower on towards the enemy's buildings.
I mean, even still, they're just choking Boom here. You don't need to use this first Aegis. Like, they have 0 rush on the side of Starbacks because they scale better anyways. So they can take this slow. Just keep choking Boom. Don't let them leave the base. If they do, make sure that you're getting trades somewhere else. And Minos, he's just constantly scouting his area. He might find Panda again if he does get lucky. Or not.
Yeah, Panda. Gotta be careful. Sacred has the jump forward. 2-man stomp coming in. Wants to get the pulverize going. Will turn his attention and still get the catch on to Knight. Will be taken down actually by MNZ. So PA money coming in. And the 2 supports are down up the high ground. They go towards bottom. Can they defend is the question. There's even going to be an instant charge by Sacred up on the high ground. Inkswell will not be able to connect to anything, but the fortification has been used.
Alright, they still have 40 seconds of Aegis here. They want to at least force this Gyrocopter back to the base. Minos is a little bit low in HP, but does complete the Basher now, and they will retreat. They really have no rush. If you look at the Gabenator right now, that's a 2% for Boom, and I think it is pretty much correct.
2% is pretty low. I think I'd give them 5 just because they can still fountain dive.
Generous.
I've seen too many potato fountain dives in my time.
This is
the game
Minos,
is never
right? We're not talking
completely
about Parker. We're not talking about this youngsters. Mino is a full-fledged man. He knows
I
discipline.
can see Dark Mago diving into the fountain.
That is true.
And,
I can
and
definitely
Sacred.
agree with
I
that.
can see them both going full davai and just charge right in.
Vamos. Fuga.
Yeah, full gas. Sacred though. Ice Blast comes out. He survives at quite a decent amount of damage. Still has the Pulverize available, but doesn't want to give it away just yet. Does get taken down. BKB jump away from Slatum. Almost gets one shot by MNZ. Because going back for the man fight here. MNZ taken down on the backline by Dark Mago, who will be able to get himself a nice secondary kill. Jump into on Spagazi. They know he has no BKB, and no BKB means no okay. It's just the two supports that are left standing, and Dark Mago is looking for blood. Knight, Chakram v Chakram, does not get himself the Timber Chain steal, and that's the steal that he really needed to try and stay alive in that man fight. With the Gyro GG gets called, and they will tap out on BOOM Esports' side.
Okay. The classic HFN GG out. That is, he's the one that patented it, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a couple of bucks in his bank account after this, because every other SA carry that does it has to abide. This is not great, honestly. Just looking at the way they GG out, I know that BOOM is a very capable team, but this type of GG